Okay, this is going to be my start screen just because I'm doing this on my desktop through my laptop through Chrome Remote Desktop. Um, the first thing that we need to do is bring up wherever you have the paper tutorial. It's not paper, but it's a PDF. Um, wherever you have it saved. Completed attempt number 2 is what it's currently named. Maybe we'll rename that. All right, and so now here you have all this. This is basically what it's saying is the problem that we have is that we have a PDF that is not text searchable. It's way too long for us to read it all, and we don't need to read it all because it has a bunch of irrelevant stuff in it. So we want to make it text searchable to reduce our reading load. It explains in different details what we're going to do, but that's the basics of what it is. You guys can read this. We're going to take a non-searchable PDF and make it PDF or make it text searchable. All right, just a disclaimer, I don't have any coding experience. This may concern you, but hopefully it'll also encourage you because it shows you that you don't really need to have a bunch of experience to get into this, especially with the new AI tools, because that's pretty much how I've done this, is just talking through chat GPT for several weeks and working back and forth to get it code that worked. And I've been able to get it to work on my Chromebook here a few times, so a bunch of times, actually a lot. So it absolutely should work for you. But I don't have any coding experience. But you guys do have a coding teacher apparently at your school, so maybe make use of him or her, I guess. I don't remember if I was told the gender or them, whatever. All right, so now we're going to go to the process overview. This is just going to tell you the basic steps of what we're going to do. Update Chrome OS, then we're going to set up the Linux environment, update, upgrade, and so on and so forth. It has the duration in seconds right here, and it has the download size right here. Just a note that 10 gigabytes is going to be the size of the Linux, and then all of these underneath will have to fit into that 10 gigabytes, but it easily should. Even if you have huge PDFs that you're making text searchable. All right. All right, so first step is ensure your Chrome OS is up to date, right? So the first step, you're going to go to your settings. You can either do that over here in the bottom by clicking on the date and then clicking on this cog right here, or there's the launcher down at the bottom left, and then settings is right here. It may be in other places for you because you can move these around. So just, it looks like this. It's a cog. Maybe easier to go to the time, but there it is. All right, you're going to start up here. Going to go all the way down, scroll down on the left-hand side where it says About Chrome OS. Up here, it says Check for Updates. Click on that. Mine's up to date. I just updated it when I was trying this earlier. All right, so the next step, you have to go here. If again, you can go back and look. You can either go to the launcher or down here and go to your settings. But then you're in the About Chrome OS. You're gonna, as it says here on step 2, you're gonna set up your Linux environment on your Chromebook. All right, so go back to the settings. Scroll down. It says Linux development environment. Go to Setup. Next. Just whatever username. Apparently, if someone has your username, it makes it easier to hack you, so keep that private, or at least with people you trust. And if you can swing the 10 gigabytes of space, then definitely do that. If not, I tried it with 6 or 7 gigabytes and I was able to do it, but I was given a warning for being close to the limit. So I'm not sure. I would try to do 10 gigabytes if you can. All right, and then you're going to click install. This takes, I think I timed it at one point, a minute or so. So I'm gonna pause the recording so you guys don't have to sit through this. But just so you guys know, it may take a little bit for you. Okay, so that took about 5 minutes for me. It may take longer for you. Just be patient with it. And so what you'll get is you'll get this screen where it says Hippo. Oh, well, that's my screen name. And it says at Penguin. and here's what it looks like. So you got the green down here, and this is going to be your command line interface, also called your shell. This is where you're going to be inputting the code, right? So, all right, so now we've set up the Linux environment. Now we're going to update and upgrade our, you can actually make this a little bit easier to see, fit that to width. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this code right here. By the way, I'm not going to explain what anything does here. I am going to make a longer tutorial that that will explain in detail what everything does. But for now, you're just going to have to trust me and, and your teacher by proxy. So, all right, we're just going to put that in there. Oops. One thing you have to notice, so it did not input the code exactly how I wanted it to. Oops. So you have to, it included an approximate sign at the end, a tilde, I think is what they're called. And then it has this, I'm pretty sure this is formatting information. So you just delete that, and then so you have, make sure you have the exact code that was in there. And hit enter, and it's going to update your Linux environment. Shouldn't take too long, but maybe a minute or so, depending. A few minutes, depending, I guess. If you have a really, if you don't have much space on your computer, then your computer may be going slower, so it may take quite a bit longer. But just be patient. All right. And so now it comes back, and it's got that hippo of Samos and penguin, or at penguin. So that's our command line to give some more commands. So we've updated our Linux environment. Now we need to install Python and pip. Python is going to be the computer language that we're using to use Tesseract, which is the that is the program that is going to be actually doing the work to our optical character recognition, the OCR, to make the images of the text become text searchable. All right, so we just input that in, and then one thing, sorry, if you copy something on here, if you copy it, you don't have to right click or anything. It's going to automatically copy that to the clipboard, and then if you do right click, it's going to automatically paste that whatever you've copied. So it can be annoying if you accidentally copy something and then just go to right click and it pastes this big long thing that you can't delete the whole thing. You have to delete it piece by piece. You just go backwards, so it can be annoying, so just be careful about that. All right, so we got install Python 3 and pip. Just hit enter. This is going to be the longest one of updating your operating system may be the longest, but this is probably going to be the longest of all the command line interfaces that we do, except for when you actually run the program. That can take a bit longer, depending on the size of your PDF and the complexity of it. This is just downloading all the libraries and a bunch of stuff, and I'll explain more on the other one. But basically, Python it's been developing over 40 years or so, and people have developed all kinds of cool and interesting tools that you can use for free to do things like turn your non-text searchable PDFs into searchable ones for free. So, all right, Python and pip is now downloaded, are now downloaded, I should say. What an ignoramus. All right. Now we're going to install the Tesseract executable file. All right. So this is going to be where we copy this, and this is going to be the actual program that does the optical character recognition. All right. And right click, enter. All right. And that's done. So we'll go back to our PDF. Now we need to install the Poplar libraries. These are going to be, so basically what the program does is it takes a PDF, it converts it into an image of a certain type, and then it it performs optical character recognition on it. Then another thing, Tesseract performs the optical character recognition. Then another thing turns it into a stream of ones and zeros. And then another library, program, whatever, turns that back into a PDF that is text searchable. That's, all in line like how it should be. So that's kind of the process that it takes. And these are, so the popular libraries that we're going to copy right now, or sorry, that we're going to download right now, they're going to help turn it into an image, basically. So install that. Oh, it's asking me if I want to keep doing remote assistance. I do. All right. You guys shouldn't have that. That shouldn't come up on yours unless you're also doing it from your desktop, which would be weird, because if you're doing that, then you could just do it from your desktop and your desktop probably processes faster, but that's a whole other thing. We can get into that later. All right, we're going to run this. All right, that's done. Go back. Now we need to install the Python virtual environment. This is going to allow us, you know what, I'm not even going to explain that because that's going to be a whole other thing. Just do it. Well, like I said, I'll do a much more in-depth explanation later. If you guys are really interested in that, bother Mrs. Harris and then she'll bother me and I'll get it done quicker. We're going to run that. Now we have the virtual environment libraries in there. Now we need to create the virtual environment, and so we're going to create a virtual environment, and it's going to be called pdf-to-searchable. All right. This one, it's going to pause there for a second, and then it's going to just come back, and it's not going to look like it did anything, but don't worry, because our next step will confirm, it'll verify that it actually was successful. So what we're going to do is copy, oops, I missed the S. We're going to copy that. Go back to our command line interface, right click, and it should paste that. And then what we're going to see is, do you see how over here it says, so follow my cursor, boom, right there. PDF to searchable, that shows us that we are in the virtual environment called PDF to searchable. And I will explain what that means later, but it's a good thing. All right, and then we're going to go back. Now we're going to start installing our Python libraries. So PDF to image, this is going to be the thing that takes it from a PDF and turns it into an image, if that wasn't clear. All right. It's going to download some stuff. All right, we'll go back. Now we need to install the PyTesseract library. This is going to be the library that allows you to interact, that's going to allow Python to interact with the Tesseract executable file. All right. That installed. Then we're going to do PyPDF2. This is going to be the thing that turns it back into a PDF at the end. Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong thing. All right. And that was quick. All right. And then now, oh, just so you know, you can actually install all those all at once, but I just did it one by one for now so that if there was an issue somewhere, we would know exactly where. And then you can actually install the Tesseract OCR and the popular utilities and everything, virtual environment all in one too. But again, I just did this one at a time so we knew. All right, so now we're going to transfer the pdf-to-searchable.py file into the Python virtual environment. And this is going to be the file that your teacher will have to give you. So here I have it in my Google Drive over here. So what I'm going to do is I have my Linux files, and I'll just okay, I have my PDF to searchable. This is my virtual environment right here, and then I wonder why it's not popping out. That's a little annoying. All right, so we're going to take the PDF to searchable.py, Control C, go to our Linux PDF to searchable, and then paste. Now we have PDF to searchable.py in there. That's our Python file that you can actually edit with any text editor like Microsoft Word, but usually because it's just plain text is what code is, so it's going to be I use Notepad typically, but don't open that, don't edit that, don't do anything with that until I at least get the more in-depth explanation out so you know what you're doing, unless you already know what you're doing, in which case go to town. All right, so now we have that into the Python Linux environment. Now we need to copy our unformatted PDF to the Linux environment. And again, when I do the in-depth explanation, you won't have to actually, you'll have to copy this, but you won't have to do step 15, which is rename it, because you'll just be able to go into the .py file and edit the code so that it will do whatever name you want. But this is just so you don't have to edit the code at all. You're gonna have to rename it. So let's we're gonna go to my OCR file, and then I'm going to take this is I don't know if you're interested. This is about general relativity and the eclipses and how total eclipses were used to verify general relativity attempts starting in 1911, but finally completed in 1919 and verified again in 1926 or something like that. But it's a cool little thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to Control C that, and then go to here, paste it, and then I'm going to rename it. And what I'm going to rename it is PDF underscore 2. You have to make sure you have the underscore 2. PDF underscore 2, and the underscore is just where the hyphen is, but you got to hit shift. So PDF to underscore, or PDF underscore 2 underscore searchable underscore unformatted .pdf. Okay, and then you hit enter, and that'll save that. All right, we'll go back to our PDF. We've already renamed it, so we did that. Now we need to run our script to convert our unformatted PDF into a searchable PDF. So basically, you're just gonna, all you have to do is take this, copy it, go to your command line interface, or your terminal is what it's calling it. Right click, and then hit enter. Now it's going to take, this is going to take a while. My computer is completely empty. I bought this just for this, so it has nothing else saved on it. I wiped it to make sure that all it has is this. So mine is going to run a lot faster than your guys's, I imagine. So you got to be incredibly patient. I'm going to pause the video while it does this, and then I'll come back in at the end and do some cleanup work to show you guys what to do, how to get out of this and stuff. Okay. That, as you can see, for, make this bigger to see if you can see it a little better. Probably not. It says it took 288.02 seconds for me. I have that time function on there specifically so you can judge, because the PDF that I just converted was a 19-page PDF. So, divide 288 by 19. I'm not going to do that. That's just so you can know how long it will take, so you can test a small PDF first, and then you can see if you want to wait. There are Python tools and free tools also Linux tools, stuff like that, that you can use to edit PDFs. So if you just wanted to, you know, edit out a chapter and just use that chapter, because that way you don't have to use tools that you have to pay for online or that have limited access and stuff like that. So just so you know, there's just a lot you can do that you should be aware of that may help you later in life. If you're a nerd and just don't, and you're like me and you just read a lot of stuff and you just want to, you know, cut out the nonsense, or if you're going to be continuing your academic career or professional career and you may need these tools then. So now the next step that we need to do is transfer our formatted PDF out of the Linux environment. I did edit this, but I have not converted that yet to where if you do if you run the tool on two different files, that it will actually just create a different file. But the tool that I have now, it will actually it will overwrite that file. So we need to make sure that we transfer the formatted PDF out of there. So I go back to our files down here, the blue thing. Interesting. Maybe I have to. Okay, it is in there. I just if it doesn't show up immediately, you have to click out, and then here's our PDF to searchable formatted. We can go into it and Control F, and there we go. And we can see that it is searchable. And just to show you guys that it wasn't searchable before, here's the unformatted version. Control F. See how nothing comes up? So, it was not searchable. It is searchable now. So we'll take this, Control C, go to our Google Drive, whatever OCR file that we wanted, paste that file here, and then rename it so that we know what it is. I'll rename it, I'll keep the formatted in there and just go back to its original name, Relativity Eclipses. Hit enter, and there we go. And then we can go back and we can transfer out this unformatted file and then transfer in new files as we want and do anything like that. So you can, like I said, you can keep repeat those steps for as many PDFs as you want. When I don't know, it's a really nice feeling of accomplishment when you're able to actually get this to run through a command line interface. I mean, especially if you grew up, I mean, obviously you guys didn't grow up in the early days of the internet when all those hacker movies and everything were big, but whatever. It still makes you feel pretty good that you're able to do this, even if you don't understand how to do it. So the last thing we need to do is close the Linux shell. So you can either do that by, you can just close this out, and that will do it. But this will leave the Linux environment and the Linux files here, which if you plan on using this repeatedly, then you may want to keep this and not delete it. But if you need to get rid of it, if you don't have the space, if you only want it temporarily, then you're going to go back to your settings again, either through here and then here, or through here and then find your cog. We'll just go over here and go down, About Chrome OS, right here, scroll down, Linux environment, go in here, remove Linux development environment. This will take all your files that are in there and will delete it all. So you will have to go through the entire process again if you want to use this program again. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to do that because for every time I do one of these, I'm going to start over fresh. So I'm going to delete that. And that is pretty much it. Now you guys can marvel at your godlike abilities. All right. I hope you guys can get this working. If not, talk to Mrs. Harris and we'll try to work something out to make sure that we can get it working. All right. Thanks, guys.